join in on the fun and grab your glue gun. It's the Preppy Crafty Girl Show.
Hey everyone, it's Jonna, the Preppy Crafty Girl, and I am here for haul number 1 from the longest yard sale. It's on Route 127. They hold it once a year. Around this time in early August, over 500 miles long. And so I was coming through the state on my way back from North Carolina, and I decided to go ahead and give it a go and see what I could find just in the short little bit that I was traveling on it. I didn't go very far. I think I went like an hour and a half is about the distance I went. However, it took me like, oh my goodness, half a day. So because you literally are going down a 2-lane road for the most part in the area that I was in, and it is nose to tail, car to car, and everybody's driving crazy. And I would highly suggest you take someone with you. It's very good to have a co-pilot. I've gone several years and I've always had someone with me. This is the first time, because I was by myself, I decided to just go ahead and hop on, just see what I could find. Some of my tips are to do the parking lot sales or the church sales or the fields, because it's really hard and it'll take you a really long time just to do garage sailing. Most of it, because the area that I was in Tennessee was very rural, and it would take you a really long time to go down these people's long driveways. You don't know what you're going to find when you get down there. If you're in a neighborhood and there's a neighborhood sale going on, I would recommend that just to get the most out of, whatever. But they have lots of field markets set up. They're flea markets with several vendors. I find that they're a little bit more pricey. However, I shop at the Goodwill bin, so everything was really hard for me to buy when I know that, like, I pick myself. So, and then I'm watching these people, they've already picked it, and then they do the markup, so I'm buying it at markup. So I didn't buy a whole lot, but I did find some fun things, and I found a really fun thing from my friend who's been wanting it ever since I showed it, and I did pick that up for her. I called her from the flea market, and then, well, that's a story. I'll save it. So one of the first places that I went to was, I went to this church sale. And some of the things I got at the church sale was, I found this cool vase, ceramic vase. Now this isn't for junk journaling, but it is for my Trinket Tuesday, because you know me, I love a good trinket. This is not a trinket, but this is going to house some trinkets. So this will be for my 4th of July, patriotic month of July, when I put up everything. I also put it up Memorial Day. Normally what I do is I leave it up. So I go Memorial Day all the way through, because you have Flag Day in the middle of there. So I leave it all the way up through July. So anyway, I did get that. I paid $1. Then I found these recipe cards. I thought they were really cute. I paid $1 for these. The lady was super nice that I met and I got to talk to there. I didn't realize they were from Ocala, Florida. And I picked up I thrifted another one of these with a woman on it cooking. And so anyway, I got that at the Restore, but this one I bought at that church sale. Then I found these. So like, I need these button covers, but I've got a project I'm working on, and I need to make some covered buttons for some things that I have that need to match. And so they were 50 cents, better than buying them at Hoblob or whatever. Okay, I don't know if you know, but I decorate my tree with vintage numbers of 12s and 25s and house numbers and things like that. And so whenever I can pick up a 2 or 5 or a 1, I always pick them up. So I put those on my Christmas tree. So I found that was 50 cents. Then I got one book. That's all I found in their books. And I got the Children's Bible Stories. It's a golden book. This one is so cute. Look at this. The illustrations are adorable. This is stitched in. And is that? Wait, let me go back to this one. Oh, it is. Is this jail? No. Okay, I thought that was a woman, but they're saying that's David. I thought maybe it was Jael. She's one of my favorites in the Bible. If you don't know who she is, look her up. She's awesome. Awesome. It might be a little gory, but it's a good good read. Okay, so anyway, pick that up. Okay, then I went to a antique shop, and across the street from the antique shop and on the same side of the road, a lady was selling her wares, and this is the only thing I bought from her, and it was half off, so I paid $1. However, I am gonna do a back to school journal. I'm thinking about I wanna do one from when I went to college, since it hasn't been that long, and I may end up doing like a series. I'm not really sure. I don't know that it'll even be done because back to school already happened, so there's that. But anyway, you could always work, backward in your school. But anyway, so I picked this one up. It's just super cute, and because I just made Bert and Ernie as part of the Trinket Tuesday, I thought, well, I could use Bert and Ernie on the dangle, and that would be I'd be halfway there because I'd have the dangle done. So this was a 1980 book. But then I went to a field market, and in the field market, this woman was selling these books. I thought this was really cool. Electric wiring. First off, I love the cover. I thought it was just really neat. And then it had the blue papers in it, but it has these schematics, which I thought is so fun. And I love using Tim Holtz things, and so I thought these would make great pages if I do more Tim Holtz books. We shall see. Oh, I bought this book in Australia. Actually, sorry, I just knocked the table up. I bought this book actually in Australia when I was there going to college, and I fussy cut the entire book so that I didn't have to take this book back with me because it weighs a ton. And then I found it in the field. So it's called Australian Birds. And so look at the end papers. It's matte. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This one is from 1967. Lots of birds in here to fussy cut. Oh, here's a kookaburra. Oh my goodness, we had kookaburras right outside our bedroom window, and oh man, those things are so loud. They say they laugh. I'm like, they sound more like monkeys laughing. I don't know if you've ever heard a kookaburra like live. Oh my, they are so loud, and there's so many of them there. Well, in the area that I was in, I was out in Balcombe Hills, which is about a half hour outside Sydney. Anyway, this is a great book to fussy cut, and yeah, so awesome. Yuck. Caught a lizard. Anyway, there's that. Then I found another huge book, but I couldn't pass it up. Like, I need another atlas, but I don't have this one. So this one is massive. It is not as big as the Reader Digest ones, but this one is, let's see, 14 inches by, how wide? By 11. So yeah. And then it's probably like 2.5 inches thick. And this is from originally 1947, but this is a 1959. Matte pages. It has everything about like constellations and places in the United States. So it has all these great pages with tiny fonts, and These make great background or even strips, and you can make ruffles out of them. I love using these pages to make ruffles. And then, oh my goodness, look at the pinks and the yellow and the orange and the green, and look at purple. You know, it's so hard to find purple vintage things. So when you can find purple, I say grab it. That's not really my aesthetic, but you know, you never know when you're going to need something purple. So I do have a little stash of vintage purple items in case I ever need it. These are a little glossier, but not glossy. These are matte glossy, I don't know. But they are sketches of everything. And then Williamsburg, Virginia. I almost went to college there, but then my father passed and we moved to Florida, and I did not get to go. So there was that. Anyway. Would love to have gone to William and Mary. But apparently that was not God's plan for my life. So found that. All right, then in the same field, I ended up getting a few things, and we will open this together. So this guy had all kinds of cards. I didn't find anything that I was like really in love with, but then I saw the Pippi ones, and I have had a Pippi journal. I've been collecting stuff for my Pippi journal for over 2 years now. I would say, yeah, since I moved up here. And Pippi was one of my favorites growing up of watching. I loved her adventures. I was a lot younger when she came out. But she was one that I used to watch. And so was Little House on the Prairie when I got a little older. I think I was like around 8, 9, 10 for Little House on the Prairie. And when I was watching Pippi, I was more like 5, 6, 7. So, but I've never seen cards before. And we are going to open them up and look at them. I don't know what, they're probably just numbered. Oh no, they're all, and these actually were from Sweden because it has the price on here of 59, probably whatever. I think they're Swedish kroner. And so anyway, the backs are, what? Oh, I'm trying to figure this out. Like tied up in a rope or something. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so it has birds, bears, but it's all in Swedish. I wonder if it's in a couple languages. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Jim. So crazy. Tommy. Annika. Oh. Cute. Oh yes, her horse that had the polka dots on it. And the colors would change. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so fun. So fun to use in my Pippi journal. I wish there were more pictures of Pippi. I'm not really understanding why that's... I gotta go back and look. She's falling over the rope fence with her head in a bucket. And I'll have to go back and... I've got the video. I'll have to go back and watch for that. Okay, so I did get that. Then I found okay, so he had a bin of some things, and he's like, make me a deal. You can even buy the bin for whatever. He was just trying to get rid of it. So I did pick, I didn't find anything else in the bin, but I did pick this up because I thought this would be really pretty if I ever can work on my Heidi journals that I've been trying to do for my friend. I've just been collecting for that, but I thought that would make pretty pockets in her journal. And then I found this for my patriotic. It's very well worn and loved, but it still says 1976 and has several of the, so it's a bicentennial tea towel, calendar tea towel, and I thought that would be great for my display in my house. And then I don't need any of these. I have so many vintage magazines. I couldn't possibly even use them in a lifetime. And so, however, this one is the October issue of Family Circle, and this was one of my favorites. They had all kinds of stuff in crochet. It has a Young Brook shield on the back, which is adorable for the Colgate. And anyway, so this was one of my favorite ones because it had all kinds of stuff, and it had the Charles Schulz story in here with Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and me. And that is one of the reasons why I love this one. So it kind of takes you through. So when I saw the cover, I knew exactly what it was. And then, of course, her and her Daisy for my Doris and Daisy book that I'm doing for myself. And it just had some fun. Look at this thing. I love her. The long one. So anyway, I just knew that this was what was in this one because I already have it. So now I am not going to feel bad at all. Oh yeah, there was some funny crocheted things, like, oh my goodness, what they used to crochet, and it's like, ugh, what? This one's actually not too bad. This one's really pretty. I'd love to have that sweater right now. Anyway, so if you ever find this one in the wild, then it's 1975. It's October. Pick it up. It's a good one. Then I went to another field flea market, and I didn't find a whole lot there, but I did find some fabrics. And one of the things I got was this vintage, this is super old vintage cowboy with the robe. It says rodeo, and it has like a cowboy sitting on a fence, and I just thought this was really neat fabric. It's different. I do have some cowboy journal kits up in my shop, and so anyway, I did pick this up. I need to clean it. I haven't laundered this stuff. And then I saw this. Of course, it had me at Aqua. I don't even know what it is. I really don't know what it is. It's like stitched. It may have been on a crib where you put it underneath the mattress and it folds over. I'm not really sure. It's, but the gingham, the aqua, the yellow, I just love it. I don't have a purpose for it yet, but I couldn't leave it. It's very sad. I'm going to need to soak the fire out of it to get the dirt out of it, but we'll see. Then from another vendor, I ended up getting these because we are, Carol Crinkle Path, myself, and Angela Traveling Crafter are doing a Prairie Girl journal series that we're going to be doing on a few lives on YouTube in that. And so I found these for the Prairie Girl journals. So look at her carrying her apples. That's so Laura. I love it. And then this one, look how cute. What was Laura's little sister's name? Okay, wait, there was Mary. Oh, I can see her. Oh my goodness, what was her little sister's name? If you know, put it in the comment. And then I found this in the bottom of that box just because it says denim is dynamite. I love this. This is 1976. It's just fun. Look at the patchwork denim suit. Remember the leisure suits they all used to wear back then? Oh my goodness. She reminds me of Rhoda Morgenstern, how Rhoda always had a kerchief in her hair. So there's a lot of those. They're eating orange popsicles. So it shows you actually how to make this, which is kind of cool. And so there's some tips and tricks, more fun with denim, but I just loved the photo. Oh my goodness, look at these patchwork knee highs. And then the clogs. I had the clogs from when I went to Denmark. My sister bought me a pair of leather clogs when I went there. I was only in 8th grade. So, but anyway, this one was just adorable. I love that it has a woman of color in it because they're so hard to find back then. So love that. Okay, so I picked those up from a field. And then from another vendor, I found this. Now, my friend saw me play with my fashion plates, and she's like, oh my gosh, those are the ones I had. Now, she's one of my closest friends. So, but she's like, oh my gosh, I had a set just like that. If you ever come across one, buy one. Well, I have not seen them in my journey until the set that I got from the bins. And then all of a sudden, it was there on the table. The box is in really bad condition. Now, I did not realize that those spots right there were not for crayons. They were actually held pencils. I forgot that from my childhood. And so I thought that was interesting. This one is the same as mine. However, it doesn't have the little crayon holder. So apparently you could use colored pencils, which I'll need to try. The guy wanted $20. Now, here's the joke. And I haven't washed this yet, and I will wash it for her. But I thought this was really neat. I may have to take a copy of this so I have like how to do everything. So slip a sheet of paper in and rub this with the special crayon. Okay, this will give you the outline of the figure. Okay, there we go. And then you color it in with the pencils. So I did it right from my childhood. I thought I was doing it right. Okay, so anyway, he wanted 20 bucks for it. So first it didn't have any price. It didn't have a price on the outside. So I go, oh, there was something else that I wanted. I know what it was. It was TV guides. So he had a set of TV guides, and he was selling each one individually, and they ranged from $5 to $15, depending who was on the cover. And I was like, what? I'm just going to tear this thing up. I'm not going to pay $5. So there was one that I wanted. It didn't have anybody famous on the cover, and it was $5. And so I said, will you take anything less? And then he's like, no. I'm like, okay. So I walked away. Then I found this, and I called my friend, and I'm like, I don't know how much this is. Do you want it? She called me. I texted her. She called me immediately. And in the meantime, the guy came over, and I said, I don't see a price on this. How much do you want for it? And then he slid it open, and there was $20. And I was like, well, I'm not the one that's purchasing it. I'm just going to buy it for a friend, and I need to give her a call. He's like, okay. So I talked to her on the phone. She's like, see if he'll take $10 for it. So I yelled over while I was on the phone. I said, will you take $10? And he goes, sure. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He'll take $10 for this. That's half off. But he wouldn't go down lower on the $5 TV guide. And I just, for about 2 seconds, I thought, you know what? I'm not even going to buy it from him. But my friend really wanted it. And it had all the parts except the little crayon holder, which is no big deal. You can just hold the crayon, do it. But it had all of the little pieces here. And I thought one of mine was missing, so I need to find out which one. I think it may be her, which kind of is like, yeah, it might be her that was missing in my set. I'm not sure. I need to go back and look. So anyway, I got it for $10 for her. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to be that friend that cleans up. And this was a very well-loved one. It's got all kinds of crayon marks on it. And so I'm going to make a copy of the back of that for myself so I get some ideas of coloring on the back, but I will definitely send them. So this is a 1978. So now I know when mine's from because this is the exact one that I have. Okay, that being said, on to the next one. Then I went to another church sale. Highly recommend these church sales, just saying. And I found 2 fun trims. So I got this one, which is super cool. I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of cut away, so I thought that was kind of neat. And then I found this one, which I thought at first it was stretchy, but it's not. And so I got that one, which I thought was fun. This could go down the spine because it kind of looks like rickrack. And yeah, so these were together actually in a bag. And then I found some books. Okay, so this is like, I need another reader, like I need a hole in the head. This is called The Story Road. And this is from originally 40, but this is the 1957 version. And it is kind of got some damage way in the back, which I'll just tear out. But this is all in really good shape. And, you know, everybody knows what the vintage readers are like. And if you're a junk journaler, you know that it's hard to walk away from. Just saying. Especially for 50 cents because that was half off. And then I found this one. This would have been half off because everything that day was half off, and I paid $1. This one's called The New Knowing About Numbers, and I love the book. First off, look at them. Somebody came in and drew beards on them, and I might be able to get that off with just a simple eraser. I don't know. I'm gonna try. If not, I have some rubber stuff that might take it off. Let me see. I have one of those magic rub beard time, but that's that. So I couldn't pass this up. It has some great illustrations, and then look at the abacus, which I've never known how to use an abacus, so I may read this for myself. I don't think that I ever learned. I think by the time I got to school, they were not doing the abacus anymore, but I do find abacus all the time. So isn't this fun? I know I'm whipping through all the pictures. If you want a more detailed one, then let me know. Alrighty, then I found this one for 50 cents, the 4 little puppies. I do have some dog and cat kits that I put together, and I never stuck them up in my shop, so I need to put those junk journaling kits up in my shop, and this may go in one of those, or I may just do one. So I think I've seen Angela with this one. When I opened it up, I thought this kind of looked like her, how they take the animals and they put them in clothing. This book's not in the best of shape, but all the pages, they do have a little bit of some pencil on there, but that won't be hard to erase. Oh my goodness, look at that one. Oh my goodness, look at that. So anyway, I thought this looked familiar to me, but that was 50 cents. Then I found this one. I don't know how much this one was. Didn't have a mark on it, but it was from the same lady, so she probably charged me 50 cents because she probably had it marked for $1. But I've never seen these opening books before, and this is from 1965. The illustrations are just gorgeous, because I love the olive green that they used. Oh my. So how fun is this one? And I love the cover, so I would probably just use this as the cover, and I'll see if I can't get it cleaned up, because look at the inside. Pink. So cool. This one, not so much. I'd have to cover that one. But anyway, that's the thought. Then I found this one called A Happy Morning. The covers are really kind of roached. However, the inside pictures do remind me of the Dick and Jane a little bit, and some kind of like the pictures from this one. This one is from, I don't know what year. Oh, okay. This one's from 1970. So again, the illustrations are watercolored. I love the big font. Aww. I love the watercolor illustrations. Just super cute. And there's that. And then this is the last book that I bought, Learning to Read from the Bible, Jesus is My Guide. This one, oh my goodness, I just love this. Somebody put Jesus book on it. I'm gonna have to try to get that off. But for a prayer journal or for making notes in, this one's really cool. Let's see, 1973. So apparently this is a set of 4. God is my helper, God is my friend, God's my teacher, and Jesus is my guide is this one. But I thought this will make a great journal for myself. They did underline and write in this one. So I will have absolutely no problem fussy cutting it and turning it into my notebook for Bible study at church. I thought that'd be really cute to have. Then lastly, this is what I was talking about. You drive down these long driveways, and I went to this one and said, oh, antiques and more, great prices, blah, blah, blah. So I drove down. It's this big barn, like a big giant metal barn. And I saw everybody leaving it and they had nothing. So I'm like, okay, that's not a good sign. Nope, everybody's walking out not carrying anything. So I went in, and it was a big barn of just not very much stuff, and it was all junk, like junky junk, and not like junk, but like, I don't even know how to, like vegetable peelers and that kind of stuff, like fake belts, like fake leather belts, and that kind of just junky stuff. So I'm walking up and down the aisles. I thought, well, maybe I'll find one treasure in here. And I did find one treasure. And my one treasure was somebody made all these covered buttons with this vintage fabric. And I was like, what? So I was so excited, and I picked these up. But look at these colors. They're like neon, pink, orange. I need to find a way of kind of cleaning them up, maybe with a lint roller. It'll take off some of the dirt. I don't know, or I may just soak them and try to wash them in a bowl, because they've been, like I said, sitting out in that barn. And so anyway, I got this set of colors. Oh, I love them. And then I got this set, and I bought, they also had like shiny, like it was made from, remember the old like penny fours or whatever? They were it was like made of like nylon or polyester. I think it was nylon back then. Pink and peach. They were just plain colored, and they were from a negligee. That's the word I was trying to come up with. So, and then there's this, these are they remind me of the Brady Bunch so much, this color combo right here of their bedroom. But like I said, they're like super dirty, and I need to clean them off. But somebody went through and they did an amazing job. Like, they're all perfectly done. And this is probably out of PJ material. That's what that feels like old pajama material, not a little bit like between felt and flannel. I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, I thought, I bought every single one they had in these florals, and I'm gonna have so much fun working with those in my journals. And yeah, so I got those. And that is it, my friends. I had a great time going to all of these little flea markets and churches and stuff like that, and getting all these finds. And I will be back for part 2, which is going to be mainly a book haul. So you might want to grab something to sip, and I will be putting this up soon. Bye.